Awesome. Well, thank you everybody who is here this evening. We have obviously two very special guests. Uh, we are the Salt Lake City Multifamily Meetup Group. And, we obviously welcome you all here and hope you'll continue to join us. My name is Chelsea, and I'll be co-hosting tonight with Tate Seamer. And of course, we have a packed night. I'm just going to, kind of get through some of the initial guidelines here. This is definitely, a safe place, but please no politics, race, religion, or sexual harassment. Not that we would expect any of that from any of you. Just a quick, the group culture, generally speaking, we like to talk about, inclusiveness, definitely high individual standards, doing deals, moving the needle. And this is definitely an opportunity for meeting partners and of course, continual improvement in both, your personal and business. So we are here to help one another out first and foremost. And just a couple of quick things, how to get the most out of this group. First and foremost is be intentional. We're here to add value and help one another reach our goals. Definitely please turn your video on to get the most out of this. Be present, of course. And also, if you're new to the group or even if you've been here before, please share your info in the chat. So we'd like your name, your phone number, your email address, and your area of expertise, whether you're an active or passive investor. If you enter your information, we will email you a copy of the sign-in sheet. So we really encourage that throughout the evening. Please enter that info again: name, phone number, email address, and active or passive investor. And like I said, also, if you are able to, please turn your camera on. That would be super important to be engaged. Like I said,
if you're able, if you can. Some of us aren't so fortunate. But yeah.
If you can, we would love to see you. And there's going to be a couple different opportunities to break off here into smaller groups to talk with other guests that maybe you do or don't know. And definitely some great networking. And we have two very special guests tonight, Clay and Brian, and they are going to talk about scaling from single family to multifamily. I'll let Tate speak a little bit further on them because we've actually just more recently met, but Clay and Brian are absolutely crushing it in the multifamily space, and they had a very impressive single family wholesaling business. So there's a lot to learn from these guys, and they're going to go into some of the details of how they've gotten there. I guess, as far as next steps, Tate and I will do a more formal introduction, and then we will have an icebreaker. So everybody will get to take the stage for 30 seconds and tell us who you are, what's your area of focus, whether you're an active or passive investor, and most importantly, what you would like to get out of this evening's event. Again, we are here to help you. So the more information you can provide and let us know how we can do that, we're here to network and help move the needle in everyone's business. So Tate, do you have anything to add to that before we make our introduction and get started?
No, I think that was great, Chelsea. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I'll just add a welcome to everybody. Thank you for being here. This group is as powerful as the mass that shows up every month. And so right now, this is a great group tonight. So I'm really excited. Thank you all. And Tim Waukee just signed in, so that it's going to be a really good night when that happens. So yeah, rock and roll, Chelsea.
All right, let's get started. And one thing too, I want to encourage that while we have our presentation with Clay and Brian, is if you have any questions for them, please put them in the chat because we will stop to ask questions. I know they'd love to hear from everybody. And then we will also, at the end of their presentation, have an opportunity for an open Q&A. But if you have something on your mind, just throw it in the chat. I'll be monitoring that as Tate conducts the interview. So again, thank you everybody for being here. My name is Chelsea Garber. I am actually relatively new to Salt Lake City. I've been in Park City now for about 2.5 months. I'm originally from New York via way of California. I am an active multifamily investor and syndicator. and also the owner of ROI by Design. And we work with investors on value add opportunities in the multifamily space. So everything design and remodeling. Tate and I actually connected about a little over a year ago at a conference. And yeah, we kept in touch and we synced up this summer, and we're working together here in Salt Lake City and as well as Oklahoma City. And I'll let Tate speak a little bit further about what he's doing, but we're working on multifamily deals, and we're excited about that, and definitely welcome other people if they have any questions for us, to reach out to us directly or here in the chat. And yeah, just excited to be part of this group and to meet everybody here. So that's all for now. Tate.
Yeah. Tate Seamer. My company's called Greenlight Equity Group. We basically buy apartments, and we shop. We aggressively are looking in Utah and Oklahoma City, and we're currently under contract on 2 deals in Columbus, Ohio, totaling just about 250 doors. So we're that's the market that we're most actively working in right now. And I just here to help. I love to help, and I really take a lot of joy in seeing other people succeed and seeing other people meet other successful people and network and build their careers and their businesses. So that's why I'm here. That's kind of what I hope to get out of tonight as well, is just for everybody to have a good time and make some powerful connections.
Yeah, I love it. I think with that, we'll get started and go into our, quick icebreaker, 30 seconds again.
Hey, Chelsea, can I just make one quick introduction?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, just want to introduce Paul Winterroad, who if you were here last month, we got to hear from at a little longer format, but Paul is with Bonneville Multifamily Capital, and we've worked with Paul ourselves, as have other people on this call, I know. So Paul, if you want to just say hi real quick, we'd love to see you, hear you.
Yeah, thanks, Tate.
You
Appreciate
bet.
it.
You bet.
Yeah, I can even lead into the intro, but just so everyone gets to know me a little better, and I have met several of you and love building the community. Love what you're doing here, Tate. The last month's meeting was really good, and I'm sure we'll just keep on plugging forward with that. But the day job for me, I'm in the multifamily mortgage and finance space. So I'm a mortgage broker. I work with a number of different lenders, anywhere from regional, local, even national banks, Fannie and Freddie, HUD, insurance companies, CMBS, bridge loans, private capital. Really have the full gamut of different solutions for multifamily finance. And it's a great business to be in. There's great interest rates out there right now. There's a lot of lenders that are active. They're very diligent, I would say. It's a little tougher in the light of COVID to get deals done, but we still are getting loans done and helping people get the financing that they need. And so, yeah, I think that's it. If anyone has any questions, needs any help, or understanding parameters, underwriting for different loan options out there, it's always evolving. Happy to help out. My information's in the chat box. So thanks, Tate, for letting me have the forum there for a second. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and if you want to get beat in a round of golf, Paul might accommodate you in that realm as well, right?
That I can help with.
Okay,
yeah,
there you go.
But you could probably beat me down the slope, but I'd love to do either. So.
Right on. All right. So we'll just go down. Mr. Ben Wilson, I see you. Would you like to say hi real fast?
I'll have you talk this time. Yeah.
Unmute myself there real quick. Yeah, I'll say hi quick. I actually had lunch with Paul not too long ago, talking about a couple projects I have going on. All new construction right now for the most part. and then kind of getting into bird dogging a little bit for some other contractors I know, just helping them. A lot of people are out of inventory right now, so I'm helping other guys try to find some multifamily projects around the Salt Lake area. I've got a lot of exciting things going on. Still working on that Park City multifamily, hoping to try and get that one knocked down. And then, yeah, a lot of duplexes and multifamily going on, a couple of single family here and there, but mostly I'm trying to stay in the multifamily space. Probably about 5 to 15 doors, that range of new builds.
Great. Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anybody like to go next?
How about Layla? Layla's new to the group. Do you mind introducing yourself?
Hey everybody, my name is Layla Kunimoto. I'm based here in Seattle, Washington. I am a real estate investor. I've been investing in single family real estate since 2006. I own and manage a portfolio of single family homes here in the Seattle area, and I am looking to transition into multifamily. Seattle market has gotten overheated and very, very expensive, so I'm starting to look, broaden my horizons. I have invested as a limited partner in a couple of syndications in Dallas, looking to put more money into that market, but I'm starting to expand myself geographically. The goal is to syndicate my own deals down the road, but at this point I have some capital that needs to be invested. So I'm looking to network. What I need tonight is I need to meet excellent operators in multifamily, specifically I would love to get into Utah and Idaho. If anybody knows anybody, please ping me.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, Layla, and welcome. You're in a good place, and there'll be plenty of people here to meet for sure. And it sounds like you've got a lot of it together already. So thank you for doing that. Allison, why don't you introduce yourself? I know Allison, but most of the people on the call might not know Allison.
Hi, yep, I'm Allison King, and I am working with Tate and Chelsea and the Greenlight team. And yeah, learning, taking the time to learn and hopefully get to know more about multifamily and find some good deals and grow. I mean, for me, it's a good time for growth and for understanding more and more about the business. And it's been exciting. So I'm fairly new to the team, but it's been good so far.
Yeah, Allison has been a huge asset. I will not speak on behalf of Tate, but I also can say that she's been a rock star so far and incredibly lucky to have her.
Yep.
So just any time now getting into finding a deal and being a partner. Thanks, Allison. Let's see who else we have here. Michael, you're new to the group. How's it going, Michael?
Yes,
Hey, yep, my name's Mike.
Which
Oh,
Michael are we talking about? Is that me?
Yeah, it's you. Oh, there's two
Okay.
Michaels.
Okay, so
Michael O.
should I go then?
Yeah, please. And then we'll do Michael. I think it's Whitley next.
Okay, cool. So my name is Michael Moko. I'm a recent grad from BYU Idaho. I just graduated in July. I work for Microsoft as a program manager, and I hope to relocate to Seattle maybe next year after the COVID-19. I just kind of wanted to, I think my main aim is just to network and get into real estate. I mean, there's so much you could do with 401k and stocks. I'm just planning on looking for mentors who can, who will be willing to mentor me get into the real estate space.
Awesome. No, you're, like I said, you're in the right place, and we'd be happy to help you get there and learn more about specifically how to use 401ks, IRAs. We work with investors as part of our syndication that all invest with those different platforms. So thank you for joining us, and we're happy to have you here. We will go on to the other Michael W now.
sweet, thank you. Yeah, so I've been in an e-commerce Amazon space for the past 5 years. Sold a couple businesses, failed a couple businesses, and I jumped into the multifamily real estate game the past 3 to 4 months. And I've been going hard in the paint as hard as I possibly can to do a whole bunch of action. And I am hyper focused on the Kentucky market. And looking to get multifamily units from 40 to 200 units. And yeah, excited for the opportunity to learn from everyone here.
Yeah, I love it. I like, setting goals. That's an important thing that our team works on is, moving the needle and having metrics. So you're in the right place. We'll help you get there for sure. Thanks, Michael. Let's see. Next, we got Ken. How's it going, Ken?
All right, good evening, everyone. Ken Hines, I'm from Easton, Pennsylvania currently. I'm a buy and hold investor. I currently have a single family portfolio from 5 places where I'm stationed at. Looking to 1031 those into some larger multifamily complexes in the next year. I'm also been a limited partner in 6 multifamily deals already. And in this meeting, expand my multifamily network. And then if anyone knows general partners that are taking 1031 money or tenants in common structure already, because I know it's a hard thing to do, I would appreciate a connection because I know it's a hard thing to set up by themselves.
Yeah, perfect. No, we'll definitely get you connected here, and we can certainly talk offline. And I'm sure there's people here this evening who will get you to where you need to be. Thanks, Ken. And back an East Coaster at heart. That's Tanner. Tanner has joined us last week. So I know Tanner, but Tanner, why don't you introduce yourself to the group? Tanner's got good energy. He's always excited.
Wow, here I am. So excited. Thanks, guys. So I'm Tanner. I'm in Salt Lake City as well. And I'm focused on new construction, multifamily. So me and my friend Skylar, we actually wrote an offer and got that submitted today. So we don't know what's going to happen, but it's kind of scary, to be honest with you. So I'm just in the process of finding land and getting something under contract, and then when that happens, I'll be reaching out to some of you guys to help find some money. But so I'm looking in like the Boise and Salt Lake City areas.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely get you connected, Tanner. We got a lot of people looking locally as well as other markets, so this is a perfect place to be. My buddy Darren, say hello.
Hey, my name is Darren Edmonds. I'm a real estate broker here in Salt Lake City and a friend of Chelsea's kind of from just the internet, I guess. And then we met in real life not too long ago, and that was really nice as well. New in the group. I own a real estate brokerage here in Salt Lake. We have 8 agents and we do almost entirely residential deals. And I own a number of single family and duplex properties, but I'm interested in learning more about the bigger game. So that's what I'm here for, is to learn. And if anybody's looking for an agent, I can help with that as well, but that's not really why I'm here, but certainly can. But definitely want to see what Ken just mentioned. I've thought a lot about rolling some money from some of these investments I've owned for a number of years. So the equity position is really good, and 1031ing that into a bigger property. So just trying to see how that works. Here's some success stories.
Yeah, thanks for joining us again, Darren. Darren is a total rock star in the single family space. And if you ever need travel tips for anywhere in the world, call Darren.
I like to travel. It's true. Thanks, Chelsea.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Watke, I'm sorry we're not at your space this evening. If anybody was here at our event last month, it was hosted from the Maven District, which Tim owns, and it is absolutely the coolest spot in Salt Lake. If you're not familiar with it, you've got to go check it out. Great shopping, co-working space, and Tim is just a superstar, and we all look up to him a lot. So Tim, take the stage for a minute and let us know everything you own.
Thanks, Chelsea. I live in Salt Lake, and I am actively building, developing, remodeling, multifamily. Have done a lot of new construction, multifamily. Have several hundred units right now. Have 50 or 60 units under construction, and another 30 or so under remodel right now in Salt Lake. And I'm working with Tate and Greenlight on some things, and we're about ready to raise money for a big syndication in Ohio. So, but yeah, that's been doing it for a long time, and I love it. And if anyone needs anything, I have my email in the chat. So.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for coming, Tim. Just a reminder for everybody, if you could enter your information in the chat, name, email address, a phone number, whether you're an active or a passive investor. Everybody who enters, their information here, we will send out a copy of the guest list. So please go ahead and do that if you haven't already, and what you're looking to get out of tonight, so we can help everybody out. And I think Tate also mentioned here, I know some people have been asking about how we can connect. We do have a Facebook group, so it's a great place to, get some more live updates in between meetings about what you're working on and, how we can help one another. So Tate posted that, and, he can put that there again for everybody to see. So, okay, next, Scarlett. How are you, Scarlett?
Hi, I'm good. So I'm Scarlett. I live in North Carolina. I used to live out in Utah. I used to live in Kaysville. My brother is out in Ogden, also doing real estate investing. So that's the main area we've been looking in, is Ogden. We've looked at some places in Salt Lake as well, but Salt Lake is very expensive compared to North Carolina. So we've been sticking to North Carolina for a little bit. But we are definitely open to, I say we because I'm including my husband as well. Yeah, we're mainly going to stay here, but we are definitely open to what's the word? Expanding where we're buying our houses.
Awesome. Well, we'll definitely, like I said, you're in the right place. There's plenty of people to hear both in single family and multifamily. So feel free to reach out, keep in touch, and continue to join us. Let's see who else. The Sherlocks.
I'm Steven, and this is my wife, Kristen. We're the Sherlocks, and we just live just north of Salt Lake, and we are both realtors, and we own a few doors, and looking to kind of take it to the next level and use our equity in productive ways to expand the portfolio and learn and grow. And
we've benefited from this group already so much in the last month, like the books, the social media connections, deals that people send one another. Like I can't speak highly enough about this group. I'm looking so forward to learning so much more from everyone here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we love that. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, is, not just connecting here tonight, but staying in touch with one another and helping each other out with whatever it may be. So that is best news of the evening so far. Who else does anybody else like to take the stage? I know there's a couple folks who don't have their video on, which is of course understandable, but if you'd like to make an introduction. It looks like we got David Robinson. How are you? New face.
Hey, sorry about that. I'm out shuttling kids around, so I had to pull over here. Yeah, David Robinson. I'm a broker in the Valley here. I've spent the vast majority of my career on the residential side, and over the last 24 months, been making a big push into the multifamily space, and mainly focus on small to mid-sized multifamily to broker, and actively looking for larger deals myself to purchase. Currently have my first 2 commercial multifamily deals under contract that I'm excited about, and excited to be here with everybody. Have some great people on here that I either know personally or have had a chance to meet. And I randomly, I think I was stalking Tate today on LinkedIn and saw his post about this meeting. And so I'm super stoked that I found it. So glad to be here.
Yeah, we're super stoked to have you here. And where are your properties? They're here in Salt Lake?
The 2 that I have under contract?
Yeah.
They're in Utah County.
Nice. Okay.
American
Awesome.
Fork and Orem.
Great. Well, you're in the right place then. Thanks for joining us, and stalking is okay if it involves joining the group. Next, how about, I can't see you, but Michaela, I don't know if you're available to say hello and make a quick introduction.
All right. Well, I'm
There she
unfiltered.
is.
This is in the raw. I'm just, spending a random Wednesday night redoing some cabinets. So, I'm Michaela. I'm from Topeka, Kansas. I'm a real estate agent, and I am a real estate investor. I'm fairly new, but it's something I've been learning about for years. But anyway, I just have my first multifamily, small multifamily under contract, and we're working on that. And yeah, I have a partner that's in Kentucky, and between here and there, we're just kind of looking out for good opportunities. And I just love meeting new people and learning from people doing it. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah, well, welcome. We're glad you can make it, taking a break from painting the cabinets.
I
This
know.
is an exciting night. We have people from all over the country here. So this has expanded beyond Salt Lake City, which is great. I mean, especially that we can be virtual and do this. And we're investing in different markets, we're investing locally. So this is a great opportunity. If you haven't already, put your contact information in the chat, what you're working on. Just, the more information, the more we can help you with. So thank you. How about Nick? Nick, are you free to just give a quick intro? Can't see you, but I don't know if you can hear me.
There he goes.
Yeah, hey,
There
what's
he
up,
is.
guys?
Hey, Nick.
Yeah, I actually work with Clay and Brian. It's been about 2.5 years now, and love working with those guys. Just so much knowledge from them, and yeah, I'm here. I love hearing them speak, but also to help you guys. If anyone is new to wholesaling, I've been doing acquisitions for over 2 years now, and have kind of evolved into a relationship development specialist role. So if anyone is looking to get into wholesaling or has any deals that they'd like to utilize our audience on that we can joint venture, definitely reach out to me. I'd love to help.
Awesome. Super glad you're here. Thank you for that introduction, Nick. Anybody else here? We have Whitney. Whitney, are you free to potentially make a quick intro?
Hey, sorry, we're kind of joining a little late here.
No, all worries.
My husband's downstairs. We're in the middle of a big remodel ourselves right now, so we're kind of jumping back and forth. But we wanted to stop in and say hi. We're the Richardsons. We just started our business about a year ago. Our anniversary is this week. Woot woot. So, but we've got our first property, and we're just doing renovations with it right now and getting ready for renting it out. And yeah, it's kind of where we're at right now.
Awesome. Well, we'll hopefully can get something out of this tonight's meeting, and thanks for joining. We're obviously super happy to have you here. So please enter your information into the box if you haven't already. Okay, who else do we have here that hasn't said hello? Gay here. How are you? Can you hear me?
Hey, everybody.
Oh, hello.
I'm in kind of a crazy place right now. My name's Gay Lloyd. My husband, Dave, and I have been investing for about 10 years. We have buy and hold single families, 3plexes and 4plexes in Weber County. We then started to do some wholesaling in Kansas City, Missouri about 5 years ago, and then kind of stopped doing that and went into the hospitality arena. We have a couple of hotels out of state. What we would like to do now is we're actually revisiting holding some rentals in Kansas City, Missouri. So we're wholesaling the ones that don't work for us as we're looking for those. And we would love to get into some apartments. So we kind of skipped from 4plexes to hotels, which is a whole different animal. So yeah, would love to partner with someone on apartments that has experience. We actually have a potential deal in the Kansas City, Missouri area outside of there near a lake, little town called Smithville. It's an old historic hospital that we want to convert to residential units. Could be Airbnb, could be apartments, could be mixed. Would love to partner with somebody who has #1 historic preservation and renovation experience and converting from what was a hospital to residential units.
Wow, that's a super interesting project. I would love to hear more about that, actually. Well, hopefully somebody in the group, it sounds like there's some folks in here that might be able to help you in the area.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any insight for Gay or might be able to connect her with somebody that specifically would fill that niche, please share that information in the box. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Who else here? We have Heston. Heston, how are you?
I was going to say Heston has to say hi. He's too cool not to say hi.
Pressure's on.
There he is. There he is.
Hey, doing good, guys. Doing good. Sorry, I have my phone in my pocket, so unavailable chat. But yeah, just hanging out, doing the same old. We just finished up a project that we listed last week. So I actually just got back from Mexico, so I'm just the last little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's always good.
Had to go play for a week down there.
Nice.
So
always good to have you on board.
Yeah. Stoked to hear more of Brian Clay's story, even though heard it a bunch, and yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. I think, is there anybody else that I've missed, obviously, other than Clay and Brian, who we'll let take the stage in greater detail to make introductions. But if I have missed anybody, please speak now, forever hold your peace. We're gonna jump into the next segment here. So we're gonna do, before we get started with tonight's interview, we're gonna just do a quick 10-minute breakout room. So we're gonna divide the group so everybody has a chance to kind of connect a little bit further now that we've introduced ourselves, and see where we can further develop some relationships and make connections here. So again, that'll just be 10 minutes, and then followed by that, we're going to have tonight's main event, which is going to be scaling from single family to multifamily with Brian and Clay.
Yeah, so everybody will do a 10. We'll do 4 in a room, and we'll just do a quick 10-minute breakout and share and network powerfully. So let's see, here we go. This is one of the first times I've ever done this, folks. So bear with me for a sec. Here we go. Let's see, let's add a room.
Looks like everybody's back. Tate, you here? Cool.
I'm here.
All right. Well, that was awesome. I know we got a lot of our group, and there's a lot of people here with a lot of stuff to share, and I'm just going to keep encouraging everybody to stay connected in our Facebook group. Tate will post the Facebook group again. If you haven't already posted your information, name, email, what you're working on, what we can help you with, passive investor, active investor. Let's all keep connected, outside of this evening's event. That's what makes this group really special. We're just here to help one another out. So with that being said, I think we're going to segue into tonight's presentation, scaling from single family to multifamily with Clay and Brian. So I know we've gotten to hear a little bit from each of them, but we're going to go full steam ahead, and I'm going to hand over the mic to Tate. And I would encourage that if anybody has questions during the interview, please shout out in the chat, because, I'll periodically stop to intervene and ask questions. They'd love to hear from everybody. And, the more we ask, the more we'll get out of it. So thanks again for everybody for being here. And Tate,
yeah.
off to you.
For sure. So, one of the promises of this group is to bring some really high level expert / operator, entrepreneur, people that are just getting it done in the space. And I think that we've fulfilled upon that promise tonight. I think this is actually a very rare opportunity to get to talk to 2 really successful guys that seem to almost be, from my perspective and watching Clay and Brian, what you guys have been up to the last 2 years, it's almost like you're hitting a really nice stride right now, and are just really crushing it, quite frankly. And so I think first of all, I just want to thank both of you for being here. I had, let's see, I had your bio pulled up, Clay, here a second ago, and it's lost amongst
That's all right.
1,000 other windows. But if you guys want to maybe just take a second to introduce yourselves. Oh, here we go. I'll just go ahead. You might not brag this way, Clay. So I'll just go ahead and say that you currently have ownership and management control over 116 doors, combined market value of 10 million, spread across 21 different properties. So is that still accurate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect. Yeah. So, and you've been involved in 500 plus transactions. Most of those on the single family side, obviously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Utah House Buyers is a residential and commercial property acquisition company, and specialize in assisting owners liquidate troubled and distressed properties. The company grew by more than 80% in its second full year, with over 45 deals closed in 2018 and 60 deals closed in 2019. 2020, they'll close over 100 deals, gross revenues of over 2 million. Guys, that's super exciting. Awesome work. So thank you for being here tonight. So yeah, I'll just kind of let you guys each kind of take the stage and introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about Clay and Brian.
Sweet. I'll start, I guess. First of all, I just want to say, Tate, I feel like I echo what you said. I've been impressed with what you've done too. So kudos to you for your growth. And I mean, you guys have 250 doors under contract. That's amazing. That's awesome. I'd love to partner with you on something. So I'm glad we're here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think I have a similar journey as probably a lot of you on here, a lot of people that I talk to. I started as a real estate agent 12 years ago, just slinging houses for clients. Shortly thereafter, a few years later, started flipping homes. And, we still flip homes today, not on a huge level, but we do flip homes. And always was interested in buying rentals. Our first property that I ever owned was a triplex that me and my wife bought, lived in one unit, rented out the other two. And so that was kind of, my intro to like, this is amazing. I can live for free and have someone pay my mortgage, So from there, it just kind of grew, and I always had a goal of buying more and more rentals. But again, back then it was a very small goal. It was, I want to buy a duplex every year, and I say small goal because looking back, I should have thought a lot bigger. And I think even now I should be thinking a lot bigger, and it's just, for me, it's always your mind kind of stops you, right? It's only your belief that limits you. But but then Brian and I met, 3.5 years ago now. We actually met at a wholesaling seminar. So we were both trying to learn how to wholesale. It was kind of a newer thing back then as far as a business, really. So we met at a wholesaling seminar, decided to partner up. And yeah, as you said, we've just kind of had massive growth in the wholesaling space. And we've kind of used wholesaling to propel our multifamily buying, right? So we obviously do, this year we're going to do about 100 deals in single family, but then we just kind of cherry pick from there deals that we like or deals that our team finds to keep as long-term rentals. And so again, we own mostly, or they're all multifamily, some small, some a little bit larger, but only multifamily is most of our deals that we hold for our own holdings.
Hey, should I go now?
Yeah.
How's it going, guys? I'm Bryan Martineau. So I'm from St. George, Utah, where we shoveled sunshine instead of snow, or, but I grew up there, and my real estate journey began when shortly after I got married. My wife and I lived in the basement of a triplex, and I was completely in awe of how my landlord was able to own 10 rental units, and she wasn't even 27 years old or something like that. She had 10 doors in town, and I knew that I wanted to shift my gears from where I was going. I was heading to PA school. Luckily, I sucked really bad at chemistry, so that was a huge plus for me. But that helped me to realize, living in that basement, that if a 27-year-old with her husband could do this, I could do it too with you know, with what we have available to do, you know, in this life, you know, with knowledge at our fingertips. So that, you know, shortly after that, we decided to move up to Salt Lake. I was still deciding if, you know, where I was going to direct myself in the real estate game. I got my real estate license shortly after 2016. And then in 2017, I purchased a real estate course, a wholesaling course. And then shortly after that is where I met Clay. And yeah, like you said, we started Utah House Buyers in August of 2017. And we grew it from the beginning. We had this vision that we wanted to be able to one day step away from this business and have it produce rentals for our portfolio. And that was the ultimate goal that we wanted for ourselves. You know, I remember having a conversation with Clay, telling him, like, you know, like, I don't enjoy talking to people. I don't enjoy like negotiating, and although I felt like I was actually pretty good at it, I don't like going to people's houses and doing all that. So the goal from the beginning was to one day eventually step away from that. And so we had that vision from the beginning. And then, yeah, so 2017, 2018, we were picking up a few properties here and there, but it really took off in 2019. Correct me if I'm wrong, Clay, but last year is when we built the bulk of our portfolio, from basically learning how to have gone direct to seller, where we're able to get our properties at major discounts. So hopefully tonight we can provide some value to you guys. And hopefully I can learn from you guys as well. I mean, a lot of you guys like are doing incredible things as well. So, I mean, Tim Watkey's here. That's awesome. I mean, I look up to this guy. So yeah, for sure. And then, yeah, if you guys have any questions for me and how we can partner up, or Clay, is Nick still here? Yeah, he's here.
He's on here.
But yeah, Nick, like he said as well, we actually just barely started a disposition company called UHB Investments. So to Nick's point, when he was introducing himself, we actually found that we're actually really good at selling people's properties for them, whether you're just under contract and you want a JV on an assignment, or you have a property you want to offload, where we want to be that resource for you to be able to get you the top dollar for your property. And we're just looking for base hits on those. Yeah, maybe make a couple bucks off the top, but yeah, should we fire away? I mean, what kind of questions do you have for us, Tate?
Yeah. So, well, I guess one quick comment and observation to point out to everybody is that these guys started Utah House Buyers, if I did my math right, like 38 months ago. And look at what you've built and done in those 3 short years. It just kind of blows me away, Brian, that you weren't even in real estate 5 years ago.
And like, I have to pinch myself sometimes as well. Like, it's incredible. Like, it's incredible what you can actually, like I said, like we have so much knowledge at our fingertips. You don't need to go to get a 4-year degree or get a master's or PhD to become successful in this life. I mean, that's the game for a lot of people, and you know, a lot of people enjoy that route, and that's perfectly fine. But you don't need to do that. You know, like we have so much knowledge at our fingertips on how to create systems and businesses and exponential, you know, how to you know, just get your mindset right to be able to start producing money for yourself. And it's just, most of it's free.
Yeah. And I've heard you speak before about mindset, Brian. You've got a lot of really good things to say about that and good resources to share. You know, it kind of, for me, your story kind of begs the question of, there's a lot of people that have been going to real estate classes, and there's a lot of people that bought a wholesaling course 4 years ago that aren't where you are now, but would really like to be. What do you see in you guys, in the two of you, and what you've been able to do for the last 3 years that's really led to your excellence and your success level?
I'll talk to that a little bit. I think, yeah, you mentioned mindset. I mean, we're huge believers in that. And I know a lot of people zone out when people talk about this, because it's like, yeah, believing in it, blah, blah, blah. But no, it goes so much deeper. You really have to believe that. For me, it's when I started seeing massive success in our businesses, when I realized that I had to become someone different to gain that success. So for so long, I focused on, I just want to be successful. But what I was missing, the missing piece was the person that I had to become to gain that success. Right. And I think that's a piece that a lot of people try and just skip over, So, I mean, I'll just kind of leave it there. Like there's a lot you can do. There's a lot of books you can read, but I think just putting your mindset in the right place, always feeding it daily with things, having good daily habits. And then the other thing I think that Brian and I have been really good at specifically is building systems and processes and building a team around that. Right. So like I mentioned, I've been in real estate for 12 plus years now, but really, I mean, so the first 8 years of my real estate career, I only acquired like 12 units or something. It took me 8 years to get 12 units, but then it took me 2 years to get up to 116 units. And a lot of that was just because I realized that I was my own bottleneck, right? I was the one holding myself back. And so once, Brian and I partnered up and we realized, hey, look, we can systemize a lot of these things, all of our marketing. We can hire the right people to do the things we're not good at or that we don't like to do, right? So it was when we really built systems, processes, and building a team around this, it just kind of propels us. It really just takes off. It's a self-propelling process that once you build it and you funnel things into it, it just keeps going. It keeps funneling deals to us, right? So yeah, it's been kind of amazing.
Anything you want to?
You're absolutely right, Brian? Tate. Though, I mean, there's plenty of people that, I mean, I had this one lady reach out to me a few months ago, maybe like 5 or 6 months ago, and she had spent over $50,000 in different real estate courses over the span of her past 5 years, and she hadn't done a single deal over these last 5 years. And she came to me for help in getting out of that mindset, because there truly is a belief that that as long as I'm paying for something, I feel like I'm moving in the right direction, right? And honestly, I'll tell you that the truth that to get over that is to truly just take massive failing actions forward. That is, I'm so thankful that I have a partner like Clay, that honestly, that's the mindset that him and I both have, is we just we basically have this idea that we come up with, and we decide to just go for it, and then figure it out along the way, and fail forward and get up, and fail forward and get up, and lose money and adjust gears, and we just figure it out along the way. And I feel like that is what separates success from failure, honestly. I think that it's like a risk tolerance and an ability to be okay with failing over and over again. Obviously not making irrational, stupid, dumb mistakes or decisions, or taking poor opportunities, right? But you're making calculated risks and executing. And if it doesn't go right, you learn from it, you make adjustments, and you try it again.
Yeah, Gary Vaynerchuk calls those micro failures, and he loves and embraces micro failures. obviously macro failures are not necessarily as desirable. But as an entrepreneur, or let's back up, as a skier or as a toddler or as a soccer player or any like physical endeavor, we got to learn how to fall. And that's so key, what you guys have done, and being willing to embrace that every time you've fallen and gotten back up and reassessed and regrouped and retooled and moved on. Like that's just that's kind of secret sauce sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I would say in addition to that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Clay, but I think that you and I, we feel like we kind of back each other up a lot when we make decisions. And like, I don't know, like if Clay has an idea, although I almost, well, let's just say if I had an idea, I almost feel like if I didn't have Clay, as a good partner to say like, yeah, let's do it, right? I probably wouldn't have made that decision myself and actually executed on that, or vice versa with Clay and myself, right?
Yeah.
So kind of the accountability, I don't know what you would call it, but like, it's this kind of, Clay's cool with it, let's do it. Or Brian's cool with it, let's go forward and let's do it. We throw some money at something, we build a system
That's
or something.
called synergy.
That's good. That's it, right? And sometimes it fails, right? We opened up a wholesaling company in Portland, Oregon, and we spent about 70 grand trying to get that thing off the ground, and it crashed and burned. But it was $70,000 learning experience. And so we decided to learn from that, make adjustments. And now we're in Ohio and we're doing, we just barely completed our first deal. So.
That's awesome. If you guys don't mind, just to jump in, we have a few questions here from the group in, relation to what we're, talking about.
Chelsea, if I could real quick, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I was thinking before we got into those, because we've got a number of them for sure, and I definitely want to get into them and more. But I was hoping just to maybe build just a little more context before we go into Q&A in terms of kind of what you guys see as what you're currently building, like the 3 to 5 year picture. Where do you guys see this headed?
Yeah, good question. I mean, to be honest, currently right now we are in the process of developing a coaching program, honestly, for newer investors. I mean, and really that's been born out of just so many people reaching out to us being like, I want to do what you do. How do you do this? And so we're like, well, why don't we just create a program that we can help people? And generally that's part of what I like to do. I like to help people. I love seeing people achieve their goals and, newer investors get their first deal, whatever it is. So that's one piece of what we're doing. The other piece, honestly, yeah, we have an aggressive goal of continually buying more and more units, right? So we'd love to be at a certain amount of units over the next 5 years. And again, what it's going to take to get there is building the team and the processes and the systems to get there. And so that's kind of our next step, is just continuing to build our team and refining our processes.
So I won't ask you what it is, but do you guys have a specific number? Do you guys use numeric specific goals like that?
I mean, I have this crazy big goal, which Brian probably doesn't agree with, but I find that big goals push me to bigger things. And I was going to touch base or go back to kind of what we were saying before, that what I've noticed over the years is the times when I'm most uncomfortable and I just feel anxious and not certain are the times when we're accomplishing bigger things. So I've realized that when you enter a space of being uncomfortable, that's where you need to be.
Yeah.
You have to be in that space and you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that means you're growing and you're pushing your limits. So literally if I'm in my office or whatever, and I'm just having a day where I feel stressed out or like I don't know what to do, I'm like, this is good, because I know that if I was just sitting in my comfort zone always, I would never be achieving anything, right? So I don't know, for me that's what I've learned is a good space to be in, is push your comfort level and you'll achieve great things.
Well, and I think that's true in this space. Like this isn't for everybody. Entrepreneur, that's one of the things I've like really been realizing recently is like this, what we're doing isn't for everybody, and not everybody's wired to do this. But for those of us that are, that's just so important. So awesome. Well, yeah. So Chelsea, we can certainly go into some Q&A at this point. I just kind of wanted to get a feel for where you guys are headed. Are you guys are thinking of? I know that as you've progressed, your unit count per property has gone up. You see that continuing as well?
Yeah, we'd continue to love. I mean, so most of our deals have been smaller multifamily, right? 10, 20 unit type properties, all in Utah. So everything we own currently is in Utah, which is, I mean, honestly, it's a very competitive market, a very high price market. So again, like Brian said, through our wholesaling and direct to seller marketing, we've been able to find most of these deals off market, deeply discounted. So we focus mostly on value add type deals where, need heavy lifting. We stabilize them, refinance, and really most of our properties we're able to pull out 100% of our equity or all of our invested cash or our investors' cash, which has been really cool. But yeah, no, we definitely want to get into bigger deals and, eventually go out of state and invest in other markets as well.
Awesome.
Yes, Columbus,
Ohio.
Yeah. I mean, that's where we're wholesaling right now, is in Columbus. So
yeah,
there's going to be deal flow there for sure.
Yeah. And
so if anyone has any deals that they're working on in Columbus and they need capital or something, let us know. Tate.
There's a little sub market out of Utah here growing. So speak, I guess, just real quickly to your technique. I know you guys go direct to the owner, direct to the seller. Tim Waukee had a question about, I know that's worked really well for you guys with single family, with wholesaling. How is that working so far with multifamily?
I mean, again, like I said, most of our deals are smaller multifamily. So
yeah,
it does work there. A lot of our 10, 15, 20 unit deals have been all off market, direct to seller, not through any broker. Now, obviously, once you get into the space of, 100, 200, 300 unit properties, that's not going to be the case, right? It's going to be.
And that's honestly why we've been targeting here in Utah, between 10 units to 80 units. We market to them because those are the, they're the kind of the mod pod type. Not always, but we have a better chance at getting directly to the seller with our abilities of finding them. We just really are closed on one a couple of days ago, a 10-plex and off of Whitlock Avenue in Salt Lake. So that was a perfect example of a cold call that was successful.
Yeah,
direct to seller
guy that had managed it himself for 10 years, an 80-year-old guy that just was tired and wanted to move on. So we got a killer deal, walking into $300,000 or $400,000 of equity from day one. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's killer.
So we won't pass up on those. I mean, again, they're smaller deals, but the numbers are so good that it's worth pursuing.
Well, I'll just speak to our company's model. Is we will basically look at smaller deals in Utah like you guys will, because of the value add opportunity. Typically you're buying, both buying and selling for a low cap rate right now in Utah, but a lot of times there is a significant repositioning that's available. And so we'll look at much smaller deals in Utah than we would in, say, Columbus. Like a 20 unit in Columbus wouldn't even begin to interest us at this point. So it's kind of more bang for the buck outside of this market, but there's still lots of value add play here in Utah, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. Awesome. Chelsea, do we have some other questions?
I think one of the questions we could definitely talk, Paul asked, what were some keys to building effective systems and processes in your business? Maybe you could touch more specifically even on, obviously marketing's a huge thing for you guys, the direct to owner, but just in general, any effective solutions that you've implemented would be great for us to hear more about.
I could speak to that. The book, the entrepreneurial myth, the E-Myth Revisited, is for me the most crucial book that I've ever read, and I attribute a lot of the success from my end of Utah house buyers to that book. I've read it 6 times now. Each time I get something better out of it, or I look at it at a different way, and I look at my business in a different way every time I read it. But honestly, it's not rocket science when I say it's as simple as dividing out all of the hats that you have on your head that you're wearing currently and writing them down on paper. And it's as simple as doing that combined with finding the right people to replace your hats and then treating that person well, which comes with like having a good team culture and everything like that. But it's simple to say, it's also, that's another thing to actually do it. But I oftentimes also,
Ben's got a copy right there.
There it is.
There you go.
Oh, there it is.
E-Myth.
The E-Myth, yeah. They have one for real estate as well, the E-Myth Real Estate, which was not quite as good as the original, but let's see, what was I talking about? So yeah, it's as simple as writing down all of your hats, all of the responsibilities, signing it at the bottom, and training with videos and scripts, and having responsibilities written down on how-tos on how to do things within your business, and then finding someone, a qualified person that would fit that role, an A+ player for your company, and plugging them in, and then letting them go and letting them fail, correcting them, fail, correct them until they're up and running. That, if I were to say, those are the keys to success in a business. And it's easy to say that, and it's one thing to say that, but it's also a different thing to actually execute that and perform it well.
Yeah, and I think, and Brian's been very good at building systems. I think that's one of his strengths, is building systems, and like he's saying, putting it on paper and systemizing it so you can just hand a manual to someone, say, do this thing, and just step by step by step. And honestly, like, I think for many, the hardest part is just hiring someone, right? I mean, that's a scary thought, right? Of bringing someone on, they're depending on you for income and things like that. But that's really crucial. I mean, it's been for us a huge game changer in building our business in a short amount of time, is again, putting the right person in the right seat. Like Brian said earlier, like, he doesn't enjoy going out and meeting with sellers. Neither do I. I hate cold calling. I sweat every time I have to cold call. It's just not my thing, right? So why should I be the one doing that? I shouldn't. I should hire someone that is really good at that and will do a lot better than I have. But a lot of times we have the fear of letting go of control, or will they do it as well as I, or you know what I mean? So for us, I think the game changer was when we hired our first acquisition manager, just someone to, follow up with leads that we were getting from our marketing and going out on the appointments. I mean, once we did that, we really caught the vision of like, holy cow, we can do this, this is possible.
Yeah.
The other thing too, just to piggyback off what Clay's saying right there, if we could tie in mindset to that as well. The thing is like what Clay just really mentioned, one of the hardest things within a new startup company is your reluctancy to let go of a certain hat to somebody. Or you might give them that hat, but you're still holding half the hat, and you're both trying to, do the job, right? You're not really letting them go, because I've met a lot of people that are actually successful, but they don't last long term, because when their, let's just say, acquisition manager fails, or they see them fail at something, they will go and carry them on their shoulder to the top of the hill, right? To get to the end, to get to the deal, to get that deal done or whatever. And that really actually, although you can be successful, you can carry your whole team on your shoulders and do everybody's jobs for them, and you're constantly putting out fires everywhere, but you're really impeding the growth of your own business, right? So just like when you are wearing all of the hats, how you're failing forward, you also have to let your team members fail forward as well, and allow and step away and allow for that growth to happen. So so what I also see a lot of times is someone that decides, I mean, there's a wholesaler in a mastermind from back east that he goes on every single appointment with his acquisition manager. And I just don't understand why. You know, I don't understand the concept of like, why did you even hire your acquisition guy if you're going to go on most of the appointments with him? Because they feel like they team up together and they team well. But that's, you know, that's not a business. You're just creating another job for yourself.
Job, yeah.
Because now you have to oversee that guy and do your job as well. So anyways, it's an ability to truly step back away from your business and let your business grow.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think the E-Myth is one of my favorite books, and the summary is it's, you know, working on your business, not in your business. And we all know the struggles of getting caught up in our working in the business and carrying the team, like, you know, you've said. Just a question here, you know, definitely relates to this. Have you guys used virtual assistants while you were building your business before hiring employees, or, you know, what did that growth look like within your company?
Yeah, honestly, and actually that was the first hire we ever made before we ever hired an acquisition person, was a VA that he's actually still with us. So he was our first hire and he's still with us today. He runs he's in India and he runs a team of his own of like 22 people. So yeah, I mean, a VA, I can't talk highly enough about having a VA. I mean, again, like Brian's saying, just think about any menial task that you're doing that's taking you away from making money or from accomplishing your goal or whatever it is. You can offload a majority of that to a VA or someone else. So yeah, VAs are crucial. They're kind of the backbone of the hidden piece of our business that's running all the back end stuff, right, behind the scenes.
Can you give us just a few examples of what they do for you?
Yeah, so I was just about to say that a practical example. So let's just back up back in August of 2017, what we were doing, right? I was in acquisitions, Clay was in dispositions. We divided out all of our hats that we could see at the time what our company was. And I came to a hurdle that I needed to solve, because I found that my time was more valuable being in front of a seller and negotiating and trying to get something under contract, right? However, because I'm a real estate agent, I had to use the Rep C at the time. We've since, you know, hired an attorney to draft up our own contract for us. But at that time, it was taking me like 20 to 30 minutes to draft up this contract. I wasn't very fast at writing up contracts. So I realized that I needed to offload this, right? So that was the very first responsibility with how-to instructions with a video on how to make an offer using he would log into my email account. He would do the whole DocuSign for me. And he had all the instructions on exactly how I wanted it to be written, the offer. He would drop the PDF copy of the thing in my email address if I was going to email it off to a seller, or he would just email it to me so I could print it off and take it with me to the appointment. But I offloaded this task to where now I can be doing 10 offers a day, paying somebody in India $3 or $4 an hour, so that I can then be working on something that was making me, you know, more money than that.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's a practical example of the necessities to continually, you know, look at your business from working on it rather than in it.
Yeah, Ken, that's a great question, because it really gets right to the point of, or the theme of the evening, about scaling and what it takes to scale. If you have been or are in single families, and at any level, whether it's wholesaling, flipping, Airbnb, whatever, we're looking at what it takes to move to this next asset class, this, you know, a multi-unit asset class, and even a more scaled up multi-unit. And so leveraging yourself is massive. And that's what Brian's speaking to, is the power of of offloading something that needs to be done, that if you don't offload it, somebody else, you're going to have to do it. And man, I'm thinking of like a half dozen things right now in my head that I'd love to not have to do. And it gives you the ability to focus on driving, steering the ship from like the highest level, I think. And it keeps you out of the minutia of, or like we call it, the whirlwind of the business. To a certain degree, I think you're gonna spend so much of your time in the whirlwind of the business that's unavoidable. But the leveraging, the power of that gives you the ability to really scale, and I think that's the beginning of it. So I think that's it seems like it's been a big part of your guys' success.
Of course, 100%.
Yeah.
Nice.
We have a good question here from David. I know a lot of us here, we've talked about this. This is not like a one-man show in real estate. It often involves putting teams together, partnering. So can you tell us a little bit more about, how you formulated your partnership and some of the challenges you had to overcome, and potentially suggestions for others who are looking for a partner?
Yeah. So in the past, I've had other partners in real estate that did not work out, just bad partnerships. And I think what's helped Brian and I be a really good partnership is you have to have your core values aligned and your goals, right? So we just had the same interests. We wanted to buy rentals. We wanted to build kind of an empire of, multifamily, where if he was like, no, I just want to wholesale and live on a beach or something or whatever, like you have to have your core values align. That's huge. I think that's huge. So like we've talked about, partnerships for us have been game changer. Like without Brian, I definitely wouldn't be where we are today. And I don't think he would without me. So you got to have the synergy, got to have the same core values, same goals and aspirations. And then honestly, like you have to realize what hat you're wearing. Like he said, who's going to do what? Like, so now at this point, Brian is now the CEO of our wholesaling company, and I'm 100% removed from that company entirely, because I'm focused now, primarily on just building our portfolio of multifamily assets. And that's what I enjoy. And I feel like that's what I'm good at. I'm good at, networking. I'm good at raising capital. I'm good at, sourcing, underwriting deals, things like that. So you just you see what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, and you capitalize on those and leverage those in different ways. So I don't know, I think that's been good for our partnership.
I agree. And I would also say that I think that a lot of people feel like they have to have a partner in order to be successful.
Yeah.
And that's actually not always the case. You don't always have to have a partner, right?
Right.
But you also have to take an internal look inside yourself and say, what are my weaknesses, and does this person, can he fulfill those weaknesses for me? And if the answer is no, then it's probably not worth the partnership, right? But I can guarantee you that there was things that, like Clay said, like I'll just go back to the tolerance for risk that I've actually learned thanks to Clay over the last few years, honestly. It really does take some balls to drop 50K in marketing every single month, and to make sure that your systems and processes and everything's in place, and to trust that it would be there, right? So there's huge synergy between Clay and I with how everything has been built to this point. And but again, like I know of some people where I go out to lunch with them, and they're so on point with how, you can just tell that they have everything aligned, and they're very driven, that they're very risk tolerant, and they're, just everything about them just screams that they're going to be successful. And then at the end of it, they say, so I probably should get a partner, right? And I'm like, probably not, dude. Like, I don't think you need this. And if some people, I have heard of certain partnerships where one is more of a junior to the other, more like a COO to CEO type relationship, where one is an owner, he started the company, but he needs an integrator to help him get there to the next level. And that person might be like a 20 or 30% owner of the company or something to that effect. So you can structure it in different ways, but it doesn't always have to be a I need a partner in order to be successful type mentality.
Yeah, I'd just chime in on this as somebody, I'm lucky enough to work with a partner that I've been in business with for 21 years, Carl Yorks. He's on the call. I think he's probably occupied, but in speaking from that perspective, I almost always recommend the same thing as Brian, as far as, yeah, you probably don't want a partner unless it's like, unless it's, number one, just an exceptional relationship. Like, I think there has to be a natural chemistry, a natural alignment of interests and values, like you guys were saying earlier. And that's not something that you come by every day. It's quite frankly, I think it's pretty rare in business. And so my advice on this is always to partner on deals with people, because multifamily is definitely a team sport, and you definitely need partners on deals to get deals done in almost every case, unless you're doing smaller deals and you can internalize it. But consider finding deals, doing partnerships on those deals. And then if one of those partnerships naturally evolves into a long-term structural business partnership, over the long term, then that's great. But yeah, I think that's really, really wise.
Yeah. I would like to just echo one thing that Clay said about core values and everything. To that effect is super important. I can guarantee you that we wouldn't, if we had completely different core values of life, Clay and I would not be partners today. But we have similar lifestyles, and similar goals and similar types of humor. I mean, him and I are always laughing and goofing around and stuff, and it just works, and that's honestly, it is actually very rare. I think you're 100% correct there, Tate. It's not, and some people try to force that. They try and force a partnership, and it just doesn't always work.
Yep.
We could segue into maybe a different question. We haven't talked about this yet, and it's a huge part of the business. What are your guys' tips on raising capital, especially for somebody who's just getting started in real estate investing?
It's a good question. I'll touch on that first. It's funny, like for us, it's always been an organic growth out of our network, right? So our main investor now that's partnered with us on most of our deals is a very wealthy individual. And so he was originally a hard money lender for us, like on flips and stuff like that, just a regular hard money lender. And then he actually approached us and said, "Hey, I love what you guys have done. You've been very trustworthy. I love your quality of work, your work ethic, all this stuff. I'd love to invest more money with you on a long-term basis on some of your multifamily deals." So I didn't even ask for it. He just approached me because he saw who we were, what we were doing, and that he trusted us and liked who we were. So I think, and honestly, it just keeps growing organically from there. Like, I put out a lot of content on social media just because I enjoy it. Like, I like people reaching out to me, asking questions. And honestly, just through that, people see, whoa, dude, you're doing all these cool things. You're doing all these renovations. I want to learn more. And I've just organically had so many people reach out to us saying, "Hey, if you ever have a deal, I'd love to invest. I'd love to partner. I'd love to JV." I mean, just today I went to lunch with a couple guys that I knew from college. I haven't talked to them in like 10 years. They're like, "Hey, we want to go out and buy a bunch of storage unit facilities with you. You find the deal, we'll fund 100% of the everything." Right? So I mean, like, it's just stuff like that. For me, it's never been like a chore to go raise money. It's like, if you just put your best foot forward, you have a good work ethic, you can show that you're trustworthy, reliable, and you kind of put yourself out there, I think the money will find you, especially if you have the deal. So that's always been one of our big things. Like, if you control the deal, the money will find you, right? So that's the hard part and that's part of the reason I got into wholesaling, is because I was flipping homes for so long, and it was becoming harder and harder to find deals, even for even to buy rentals. It's like, it's just, I'm getting beat out on everything. I hate this. I want to be the one in control of the deal. I want to be the one finding the deal. So that's the beauty of kind of, what we do is we do so much marketing that when you're in control of a good deal, you put it out there, the money will kind of organically come to you. I mean, groups like this, I guarantee if someone brought a deal right now, I mean, you guys are talking about this deal in Columbus, Ohio. I guarantee you can raise millions of dollars just on one Zoom call, right? So it's networking, it's just being out there. I mean, I just presented on a panel with Tim Watkey at our local RIA meeting here in Utah. It's being a part of things like this, I think is kind of the natural way to raise money.
Totally. And just to echo, being on social media, letting everybody that know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That you're buying real estate, and showing them what you're doing and how successful your projects are. And you do a great job with that, Clay. And it's thought leadership, right? It naturally builds credibility, visibility, et cetera, et cetera. And the reality is that there's more money in the marketplace now, more private capital than there ever has been. It's cheaper than it ever has been. Debt's cheaper than ever has been. And I think, like you said, Clay, having a good deal, a really good, solid deal will find the money right now. That's kind of the climate that we're in.
And I think a lot of people get hung up on the first step, though, thinking, oh, I can't go out and do real estate until I have money.
Right.
And that's where they stop, because they'll never have money or never have enough. Right. Like, I don't have enough money to go out and buy a, $6 million apartment complex right now, but I guarantee if I got the deal, I could find that money.
Right.
Right. So it just goes back to, a lot of times people do the wrong order. They just get stuck in that, like, I don't have the money or the knowledge. Well, you don't need to have anything. You just have to have the deal. You don't even have to know how to structure the deal.
Right.
It goes back to what we were talking about earlier with mindset, right?
Mindset, totally.
The natural person inside of us, we think, oh, I need business cards first. I need a website first. I need to raise capital first. I need to do all this other stuff first. When in reality, my mentor always said, put revenue first in first position. Not necessarily like I need capital first, but what he meant by that was the goal should be what is going to make me money now, right? And that to me was like, just go out and just start talking to people about selling their property, right? That's all it is. I mean, if we're talking about direct to seller type stuff, that's all you have to do. That's putting revenue in first position. It's before finding all that, before raising capital, before doing any of that stuff, it's just going out and failing forward, talking to as many sellers as you can. And when a duplex or triplex comes along for your first one, you don't even know how to analyze it still, but you have a conversation that now you can then leverage. Take that conversation. You could come to us or Tate or somebody and say, hey, I've been talking to this person. They have a triplex that they're thinking about selling. What do I do from here? Right? That to me is so much more valuable than someone that says, oh, I've got $10 million now in my back pocket, but no deal.
Yep. So guys, we're going to do one more breakout room here in just a minute or two, but you guys, man, I feel like I've heard you both speak before, and I know you've got a ton of wisdom in you, and I feel like we just kind of scratched the surface a little bit, but I guess just to give you each a chance, kind of at a parting shot, words of wisdom, especially for those that are maybe, a year or two behind you, 3 years behind you guys, in terms of progression, or maybe they think they're 3 years behind you. What would you say to those folks at this point?
I'll let you start, Brian.
Oh, me?
Put you on the spot, guys.
Sure. There's one thing that I like to preach often, and that's worked, and that is working for $10,000 an hour if you can simply just get in, everything that I always talk about is about mindset, right? I'm going to go back to that. Just one last brief touch on this, right? Working for $10,000 an hour. If when you wake up in the morning and you feel that whatever your first task that you have to do for the day is not worth $10,000 an hour, you probably shouldn't be doing it. So it goes back to everything that we've already talked about, from hiring a VA, to writing offers, to all that stuff. It's continually using your time, your mindset, right? It's shifting your mindset to using your time to be working, striving to be working for $10,000 an hour. So and if you can switch your brain to thinking like that, and the reason why I like to use this analogy is because it's so simple to comprehend. If you're driving in your truck to Home Depot to pick up materials for your flip or your multifamily project that you're working on, if you can ask yourself, how much would I be paying myself right now to be doing this project? If it's not $10,000 an hour worth of that, of revenue, or of expense, then you probably shouldn't be doing that. So that to me is my tip for everybody here tonight. If hopefully that's of value to you guys, but it's shifting your mindset to working on your business rather than in your business.
Yeah, that's great. I would just add something that I think most new investors don't utilize enough, or people that are trying to grow and scale, is leverage the experience of other people.
Boom, yeah.
Right? Everyone tries to do everything on their own and be the self-made millionaire,
Yep.
which I feel like that's what Tim Watke is. So he's an anomaly, but most of us have to use the expertise of other people. And that's really what's helped us propel us. So like you said, if you don't have all the answers, that's okay. Go to someone that does, that has that piece of the puzzle that you don't understand, and be okay with that. I mean, I'm still learning every day. Like, I'll call my lender up and be like, I have no idea how to structure this loan. Can you walk me through this, or give me some options here? I'm looking at this property. How would I, what kind of loan could I get? So it's just learning, constantly being open to learning and wanting to grow, and being okay with that. Like, it's even for us, sometimes people look up to us like, wow, you guys have done a lot. It's like, yeah, but I still don't know that much about most things, but I know a lot of people that do, and I can call them and I can leverage their experience. So that's why I say expanding a wide net with your network is so important. And you'll do really good. And honestly, another thing for me is, like, I kind of touched on it in the beginning, but becoming the person is more important than what you want. So one of my favorite quotes from Darren Hardy, if you guys know who he is, he says, "You don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are." So it's more about, to me, like, success isn't just monetary. Like, and if you're always chasing that, you're going to be an unhappy person. So we're here talking about multifamily. Well, why are we talking about multifamily? Because it provides opportunities for you to change your life or change your family's life, right? So it's more than the money. It's about becoming better people and providing opportunities for growth for your family and for others to progress. So I never like to forget that piece of contribution, and like remembering the why. Why are we doing this? Why are we getting up every day and hustling? Because if you have a solid why, it will propel you to push past all the failures and the setbacks you're going to encounter.
Absolutely. Well, I hate to cut this short, but I do want to get one more little power session in here before the end of the night. Guys, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Keep rocking and rolling. We'll great things in the future for all of us here. You guys and us, and future partnerships in this group, and lots of awesome stuff on the horizon. So thanks for sharing all your knowledge and experience with us, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
All right. So we're going to do one more breakout room. I'm going to make this one smaller. Then let's see, recreate. We're going to do, we're going to do smaller rooms, and here we go. This should hopefully work. Isn't it fun to be interrupted?
No, I was making these really important points.
I know it's like you got to wrap it up. 6 seconds left. Oh my gosh! Now we know how politicians feel in a debate, right?
Thanks.
They just keep talking.
Exactly.
So it's still
They
be
never
talking
answer
right
the
now.
question.
That's right. No doubt.
Guys, if you have not left your information in the chat,
Yep.
name, email, LinkedIn, phone number, what you're working on, active, passive, like absolute last chance, please do so. We'll share the guest list with everybody who has entered their contact information here tonight.
Yeah, and we're also going to do we're also going to give away an audiobook actually, and I think we'll do the E-Myth this time.
Oh, cool.
So anybody that we did it this last month. We did a random drawing for Lance Edwards' book on small apartments, and yeah, the Sherlocks got that one.
Yes, we
And
did. We're still listening to it.
Okay, cool, good stuff.
Good stuff.
Okay, great. So yeah, so we'll do the E-Myth to somebody who's on the list. So I think that's one of the most powerful resources we have here, is everybody's contact info, obviously, and use the Facebook group. I put that in the notes a couple different times. So use that to connect with each other as well, and LinkedIn as well. And I think maybe let's just open up the floor one last time. If anybody we kind of did some needs and wants during the intro section. But if anybody has anything specific that they haven't vocalized yet in the way of a have or a want or a need, you're welcome to do so now. Take about 30 seconds. Or not. It's okay.
I think too, we can carry it into the Facebook group. I mean,
absolutely.
We're running out of time, but
Yep.
everybody, and I please mark your calendars for next month's event, Wednesday, January 19th, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, most likely going to be virtual. Our guest speaker is TBD. However, we have a couple people in mind, although it's going to be hard to compete with this evening and even last time with Tim. So
we're setting the bar way too high.
Yeah, it's a good problem, but please tell your friends. This is obviously right now open to people outside of our local market of Salt Lake City. So it's a great opportunity to get involved, and we look forward to seeing and just thank you everybody for taking the time. We've all got busy lives, and a huge thank you to Brian and Clay. You guys are an inspiration to all of us. So thank you times 1 million.
Thank you. It's our pleasure.
Thank you guys for having us. Really nice of you guys. Thanks.
Awesome. Well, if anybody needs anything, my team's here anytime. And if I don't talk to you, I'm sure we'll be connecting on the intrawebs, and look forward to next month on the 19th.
Awesome.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.